Another father-son trip. This is something my dad and I have been doing for a while now. And this time, we meet up in Arizona for our most epic remote trip yet. Exploring Arizona and Utah in a Jeep with a rooftop tent. We plan to be camping on BLM land out of our Jeep. The thing is, we have never done it before and had no idea what was in store. We're back at it again. Got another rental Jeep, but a few years later, and we're headed back to Utah actually. And Arizona. We're in Arizona. So we're starting out.
Yeah.
Wow, you feel, we turned the AC off just to record this, so you already feel how hot it is. 98 degrees, so hopefully where we're camping it's not that hot. But yeah.
Here we are.
Here we are. And so, yeah, so we rented a Jeep that has a tent on top, and I'll show you more about that later, but we just want to start off. And so, yeah, we just ate some food, and we're on our way to Devil's Bridge in Sedona. So we'll keep you updated on the trip. And turn the AC back on.
Yes.
That is way too hot. Yeah, the bike station there. What you think?
You need to get a picture of both of us.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This is awesome.
So cool. Sedona, Arizona. A landscape of red and white rock, contrasting green shrubs, and unbelievably blue skies. We were stoked to be here, but ended up having to bypass Devil's Bridge. The sunset was quickly approaching, and we had several miles of off-roading to go to get to our tentative campsite. One that I found solely on Google Maps. No reservations and no service. We took Schnebly Hill Road, and we were greeted with extraordinary views of the canyon as sunset was approaching. We kinda lost track of time, and we were fully immersed in the experience. What do you think?
No, it's great, but it's the smiles per mile that counts.
Right, not miles per hour?
Yes.
Oh man. Yeah, nothing to it. Nothing to it. Spectacular views in every direction, and the sun setting was beautiful, but ultimately led to a completely dark sky, no moon, and two inexperienced off-roaders trying to make it on this trail. We kept on telling ourselves we must be getting close. Eventually, we stopped someone passing in the other direction, and they strongly encouraged us to turn around as it was going to be getting harder the further we went. Unsure, we turned around and made the slow drive back in the dark. Oh yeah, but at least we have a warm hotel to check into, right? No, now we would be stuck finding a campsite in the dark.
Dude, Cammy absolutely would hate this. She would hate it?
She would, oh my goodness, she'd be walking back.
I think it's better driving myself.
Yeah, I think so too. Thanks for letting me drive for a while.
going.
Continue on Schnebley Hill Road for 3 miles.
This is not a road. How can this be a road?
Yeah, the term road is used very loosely in Arizona and Utah. We were both very tired and had another 2 hours to travel around the back way to our hopeful campsite. So we made it
We made it.
to our first campsite.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good. Man, that was quite the journey getting here. Yeah, it was just, yeah, it was really long. And it's dark, so we don't even really know where we're at, but hopefully we'll get a good night's rest. Yeah, I think it will in the morning. The morning did not disappoint, and we got our first taste of rooftop tent camping by being greeted with beautiful views from our little perch that was leaning a little too far to the left. But we got up, surveyed our new campsite, and got ready for breakfast. So yesterday we got here probably around like 10:30 or 11, right, Dad? Yeah. So it was really late. We were on this trail on our way to around this area because we're on a camp, and it was so hard. We haven't done much off-roading, but it was really difficult, and we ended up passing somewhere like, hey, how much further? Like, oh, you're not even halfway there. Eventually gets to a point where you're like right on the cliff, much more technical. He said, I do not recommend it. And it was dark out. So like we could barely even see. We're like, kind of going over the rocks and everything. And so we turned around and went all the way back, which took like another hour. And it took like another hour to get back, drive around the mountain to where we're at now. So we were really tired. I myself was up for like over 31 hours straight because I worked the night shift and came straight here. And then Dad's on like East Coast time. So it was pretty crazy, but we have an amazing view right now, and it's a really good night's sleep actually because of the nice cool weather and stuff. Surprisingly, being in Sedona, being in the desert, it wasn't too bad at all.
Should we put some rocks under it?
Yeah, it looks pretty flat. Okay. All right, Dad. So we're at this spot, and we were here at nighttime as we were saying, and we just didn't even know that like this was right behind us.
We didn't know what we had.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a neat morning.
Yeah, surprise, huh? It was
definitely surprise.
Well, I was still sleeping, and Dad was just like he was starting to wake up, hearing to open the zipper, and I was just like, oh my word, what? It's just really cool. So now we're gonna get some food going, and then decide where to go next, because you didn't need a reservation for this spot. You know, you just kind of
take it.
You just took it. It was open. Yeah, we didn't see anybody else for probably a few miles around here, and it's kind of a lot of highway noise, though, right? Kind of, yeah, it's super loud. No beautiful views.
That's the bird.
Oh, it's just the birds. Yeah. You said this is the moment of truth. See if our eggs survived our
see if they made it.
crazy venture.
It was pretty bumpy. Everything looks, wow.
The croissants made it?
The croissants made it.
No way.
Not a broken one in the back.
That's crazy.
That's cool.
This thing was getting jostled. What do you
think?
The Jeep we rented from Arizona Camper Van came packed with a fridge, stove, and all the utensils and whatnot you would need to make a decent meal. Food always tastes better out on the trail, but I think we really outdid ourselves with this one. So we're leaving our campsite from here in Sedona, and we're heading to Horseshoe Bend, then Grand Canyon. We're hoping that we can get to Point Sublime campsite, because they're saying there's like so limited, and we put in our request for it super late. So we'll see. We'll see.
Hoping for the best.
Hoping for the best. Yeah, and yeah, back onto the bumpy road.
Yes, this is a road.
Yeah, they say
That's
it's just
the crazy thing.
there's like, oh, it's just a rough road ahead. It's like it's crawling over all these rocks. All right. Sorry, Jesse from Arizona Camper Van.
There is no river that runs wide as your goodness. There is no mountain that stands tall as your faithfulness. There is no river that runs wide as your goodness. There is no mountain that stands tall as your faithfulness, and there's nothing else I'll ever need. All of my days your mercy follow me. There is nothing else I'll ever need. All of my days your mercy follow me.
We made it to our campsite. We couldn't get a spot at Point Sublime, but we settled for a dispersed camping site off of Forest Route 22 in the national forest surrounding the Grand Canyon. And we set off for an evening hike that led to the most magnificent sunset we had ever seen.
Father, you never delay in keeping a promise. There is no wonderful thing that you have withheld from us. Father, you never delay in keeping a promise. There is no wonderful thing that you have withheld from us. You've never been wrong. You've never been wrong. You've never been wrong. You've never been wrong.
There it is, our campsite. It's a little bit windy, but it's just gonna be okay. There's a little table, our dirty Jeep. So we just made it to our campsite for the evening, and it's super cool. The Grand Canyon is actually right over there, but we hadn't seen it yet. And we sadly were kind of hoping to be able to camp like legit on the edge of the Grand Canyon, but that's just not the reality of it. So
Not this time.
yeah, not this time. Maybe another
Plus
time.
it's a little breezy, so
Yeah.
it's probably be kind of...
Yeah. So there's a little breezy here, so we have to watch out for these tall trees, but hopefully they're fine. But we're gonna get ready. But it was an awesome ride out here. Even though we didn't get to Point Sublime, I think this ended up working out well.
Yes.
But it's like cooler here and everything. And we're gonna get some food and ice cream, and then go hike the trail to go see it. So that'll be good.
They take the ice cream on the trail.
Maybe we should. And also trying out my new
Put on the pants. There, Cake, see what you think. Oh, man.
Ready? I wish I brought my sweater that I have like this. I didn't even bring it to California.
Dust. Just hiking, minding our own business when all of a sudden, like, oh, there's the Grand Canyon. There it is. Oh, man. It's beautiful. Oh my word. Look at that. Morning from day 2. We're still at Grand Canyon, and it is incredibly windy all night. Every big thing of gust of wind and the rattling of the tent. I thought a big tree was gonna fall on us or something, so kind of glad that's over with. And it's pretty chilly this morning. Dad actually just started the Jeep to try to get it warmed up a little bit. So, yeah. I don't really know where we're gonna go today yet. Probably Bryce. We're gonna get away from the wind. It's too much. But other than that, it is really beautiful blue skies.
Another tasty breakfast was underway this morning. Cold, windy, yet so pleasant. We were a little chilly, but suffering a little makes the experience. And by suffering, I mean only having breakfast sausage, blueberries, and cinnamon rolls to eat. Absolutely legendary time. And my dad went full-on Pathfinder mode with kitchen cleanup, a wash and rinse station.
Blueberry syrup. Breakfast this morning is going to consist of hash of the browns, some veggie patties, some eggs, and cinnamon rolls.
Yes.
So it's a little bit colder this morning, huh?
A little chilly.
A little chilly.
It's okay.
How'd you sleep last night?
It was really windy. So it was like in and out.
Did you sleep at all last night?
I did sleep.
I only know that I slept because I had some really whack dreams. Really whack dreams, but I don't know if it was the
I kind of wondered if the tree's going to be falling or not.
I know, that was the one I was worried about all night, but no trees now, not even no brush or anything. Yeah, it's good. All right, let's get some warm food.
Yes.
Okay. Gotta keep the hands warm. So blue. All right. Cinnamon rolls out in the Grand Canyon. See how it tastes. That really good.
Toasted cinnamon rolls and butter.
This one's for you, Kenny. Thanks, Marco.
We left our campsite for the morning and decided to explore some of the Forest Service roads. We really appreciated these trails as they were fast-paced and way less bumpy. Even with all the wind, we only ran into one downed tree, which made us feel a lot better for sleeping among the trees that were swaying and whistling all night.
Found this on one of the trails, like a bunch of livestock used to be there. What's up, guy? Alright, we're coming off National Forest Road 22, and then we're gonna try to get some cell service to see what the weather's like at Bryce Canyon, to see if we can do that, or see if it's gonna be too windy and cold, because here was so windy. But we're gonna, hopefully it won't be as windy there, because it's supposed to be cooler there. That's what we're gonna see what we can find, see what we can do, see what we can do.
We fixed our eyes on Bryce Canyon National Park. My dad had never been, and I was very excited to show him this special place. Again, driving here, we had no camping reservations, but we were hopeful that we could find somewhere to call home for the night. Truth be told, I was the most unsure about where we could stay here at this location. And sadly, the wind followed us, and temperatures were forecasted to plummet. Once again, Bryce Canyon did not disappoint. We hiked the short Navajo Trail and were floored with the beauty of the intense red rock and piercing blue sky. The contrast of the rock and the sky is like no other place. All of it is beautifully accented by large pines escaping the canyon. Our shoes now covered in dust, we headed toward Tom's Best Spring to find a campsite for the night, and once again, the scenery was heavenly. So we just got done with Bryce Canyon. We did the Navajo Trail, which was really neat. And
beautiful.
Yeah, and we were kind of trying to figure out where to. I'm just a bad planner. I don't know, I just didn't do that good of a job, I guess, with figuring out exactly where we're going to be staying. And so one of the park rangers suggested Tom's Best Spring, and so we're heading there right now. That's what it's a little bit of a onto the off-road trail, always. And so yeah, it should be pretty good. Hopefully we can go there, get some food, and hopefully get out of the wind because it's very windy. But it's not as bad out here. Cooked. Pasta primavera and forever young mac and cheese. So tonight's gonna be our coldest night yet. It's supposed to get down to like 25-ish degrees or so. And so we're double, wool socks on, hat on. My dad has his hat on. We have warm water bottles in our sleeping bags and stuff. And we just got our socks all warmed up in the Jeep, like heating them up. And then we just hopped into the sleeping bag. So hopefully we'll stay warm enough.
Honey, where are you?
Well, it's morning now here in Bryce, and it's very, very chilly out. We're gonna go ahead and get the Jeep going, and we're just gonna go eat breakfast somewhere today. Yeah, it's a little chilly. It's crazy. So now we know it was 23 degrees. Very, very chilly, but up in the tent it did not feel this cold.
It did not feel that cold until we opened those doors.
Yeah, we opened the windows and just that little bit of the breeze was, yeah.
Well,
was
we had frost in there, so it's probably around 32.
Probably. There's definitely frost all over the inside of it. But yeah, so let's try to stay warm in the Jeep here and then go on our merry way to get some food this morning.
I'm going to take the tent down.
Oh, we just get this warm first.
Looking back on that morning, I don't think of the numb hands and empty stomach. I think of the incredible sunrise, the coziness of the Jeep, and me and my dad just laughing at each other. We couldn't believe the situation we were in or the trip we had been on so far. The suffering was present, but it drove bonding and the search for some decent food. This was exciting, but nothing prepared us for what would happen later this day.
It's pretty fat.
Well, there's our keys right there. We're locked out of the car.
Just got locked out of the car, which really sucks. Hopefully AAA can come through.
Yeah, we were locked out of the Jeep. And getting a locksmith out to Bryce, Utah was no easy task. Thankfully, the kind store owner that had just closed for breakfast gave us some free food and a place to sit inside while we waited and waited.
Well, we're just chilling in the rooftop tent. That's the only thing we can get into. And we're waiting for some locksmith to come here from a couple hours away. Well, the sheriff's here. Well, the sheriff said he can't get in. He's tried for over an hour the other day on the Jeep Wrangler. Was unsuccessful. So I was going to wait for the locksmith. Hope he shows up. That's all we got.
That's the next best thing we have.
And then we have a 5-hour drive back down to Sedona. The guy said he's just leaving town now. He's an hour and a half away, and hopefully he'll be able to get in lickety split, and we can be out of here and be in Sedona by dark. We're gonna go get some Subway. Most famous Subway in Utah. So we just got done going through Kanab, but we're back on the road, thankfully. It was quite the struggle getting the keys out of the car, Jeep, whatever. So I mean,
we got locked out around 9:30 because when he closed, right?
Yeah, so
The dude there closed at 9:30, and we didn't get back on the road until after like 3 or later.
So we're running a little bit behind right now.
Yeah, and since we froze our butts off last night, and we're just like really tired and exhausted from the whole like fiascos of today, and we're gonna be getting into Sedona so late, we decided to get a hotel. I know we had the Jeep and everything, but it was just like it's just too much to set up, make our food there, all that stuff, and just because we're just so zoned, we still have like another almost 5 hours to go, and it's already almost 5 o'clock. So I mean, 6 o'clock. Yeah, there's just no way it would have worked out too well. But other than that, the trip was super fun, and even that was super fun because then it gave us a chance to be able to talk to our Uncle Paul because we still had service then, which meant a lot to him. So that was really cool. And then what else?
Is this a great time spending with you?
That's a good time. It's a fun time. Embrace the suck of the cold and the wind, and so then we're just gonna get a hotel tonight. But yeah.
We endured the 23 degrees. So.
Yeah, 23 degrees, and that's like a 23 degrees of Utah with like wind. Like there was frost all on the inside of our tent in the morning. It was cold. It was really cold, but it was a good time. Super good time. So yeah, and then till the next trip, 'cause I don't think there's gonna be too much fun stuff to
Shove around.
Oh yeah. There probably won't be too much fun stuff to show you at our hotel. That's super exciting, but who knows? It seems like there's always something crazy that goes on here. So
It costs us more than the Jeep rental, so it should be pretty nice.
all right, till next time. What should the next adventure be?
I'm not sure. We'll have to figure one out.
Something that involves more hot tubs and maybe beaches or.
I think Yosemite or something like that.
Yeah, you got to see the NorCal.
We could rent that Jeep or that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
thing in the scene.
Yeah, Jesse, don't listen to this part. Jesse, the person that rented us this Jeep. No. Yeah, that would actually be really cool. That one looks super cool.
Yeah.
So, all right, till next time. Us being delayed was a huge inconvenience. However, as I mentioned, we were able to talk to my Uncle Paul, who had been on hospice and would periodically call for my dad to pray with him. We have no doubt that was the reason we got locked out of the Jeep. We were just about down to 1 bar of service when he called, so we pulled over and spoke with him and prayed with him. He expressed he felt so much peace by the prayer, and he said he knew we were out camping and was just hoping to catch us when we had service. This was a divine appointment in our minds, and we wouldn't trade that conversation for anything. But he continued to call my dad to pray for him for peace and strength during his last days. Sadly, a few weeks later, he did pass away. Perfect. Perfect. No problem. Thank you, I appreciate it. This is much more enjoyable when it's actually you can see what you're doing, huh?
Yeah.
Dang. Oh my goodness, how pretty is this?
So you know that you've sown.
And this hike out to the Devil's Bridge is really hard when you have air conditioning. Yeah, let's just crank it up a little more. It's a little hot.
Always seeking. So I'm bored up.
Just a sheer cliff, probably.
To a shelf and
Yep, let's crawl right over it. No lockers, open diffs.
We'll follow you
Oh man.
for the last time.
That's painful.
For the last time. So you say that you are Oh, streaks pass like blurry shooting stars out of my sight, but always seeking.
And that ended our out west overlanding trip. Hardships and all, we wouldn't trade it for anything. Well, maybe a couple of hand warmers. Anyways, until the next one, cheers. Also, huge shout out to Jesse with Arizona Camper Van for hooking us up with this sweet rig. He also has vans in his fleet, and you gotta check him out. You can find him at Arizona Camper Van on Instagram or in the link in the description.